Welcome to CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. CityWise is produced by the City of Rochester to shine a spotlight on city living at its best. Since 1958, the International Sister Cities of Rochester program has been bringing the world a little closer by enlisting volunteer citizens to act as diplomats around the globe to bond communities together. Rochester has 12 sister city relationships across the globe, including Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. And joining us today is Relton Rowland, chairman of the Puerto Plata Committee, along with Michael Leach, the International Programs Liaison for the Mayor's Office. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, we'll start with you. What is the background of the Sister Cities program in Rochester? What's the history?
Well, it's got a history of 56 years. It started when President Eisenhower, who had been the Supreme Commander for the Allied Forces during World War II, decided he wanted to enlist more than simply the diplomatic corps and the military in helping build and protect world peace. He wanted citizens from all throughout our communities to be part of that. So he had an initiative of citizen diplomacy that became the Sister Cities program, and Rochester had the second relationship of the whole program countrywide with Rennes, France.
Okay, and what is your role specifically in the Mayor's Office as liaison? In
the Mayor's Office, I get to help provide the limited support that the Mayor's Office does provide the program to the volunteers that really make it work in all of the 12 different sister cities, and meeting people who would like to establish additional sister city relationships for our community. Okay, people like Relton here. Relton, what is your background? How did you get involved?
Well, I'm very excited to be part of the Sister Cities program, particularly as a chair of the Puerto Plata Sister Cities Committee. My role is to coordinate all the activities related to that particular committee, and basically I make sure that the coordination of all the committee activities are in place, the scheduling, the contacts with our sister city in Puerto Plata, with the mayor and his team, the fire chief, and other individuals who are, I would say, important to the core in Puerto Plata.
And it's a volunteer role, but it sounds like a full-time job.
It is a full-time job, but on a volunteer, and we do it with a lot of enthusiasm and care.
Sure. And Mike, what are some of the activities that are encouraged for the Sister Cities program? Anything that works. Anything that lets people meet people, to understand each other's culture, to let us appreciate what the richness of the cultures and businesses and education of our partner cities might be, and how they might interact with our own community, so that we have the exchange that makes all of our lives richer. How did the Puerto Plata relationship get started?
Well, there was a background to, there was a committee that was established, and there was an impasse, and during that impasse I came in as chair of the program, and then that continued until, I would say, up to the present. My connection was when Mayor Musa visited us in 2007. In the reaffirmation of our sister cities relationship. At the time, Mayor Duffy was the mayor of Rochester, and there was a big community reception where they participated, and both mayors signed the Sister Cities agreement, and that was the kickoff that gave me the energy to continue.
And a couple of years ago, there was a special delegation that traveled to the fire department in Puerto Plata. Can you tell us about the purpose of that?
Yeah, I was very excited to organize a delegation with some prominent, I would say, Rochesterians, Rochester citizens, and we had about 14 people delegation that when in November of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, we had a wonderful reception. The committee in Puerto Plata received us, gave us a beautiful welcome with merengues and all this at the airport. And then we had a busy schedule. We had the opportunity to visit many schools. In particular, we were interested in the Konani School,
mm-hmm.
which had a waiting list for about 600 kids.
Wow.
And there's another organization called Dominican Hope that joined our sister cities effort, and we were able to visit that school, and they were working in raising funds for that particular school. Our sister cities also contributed to the fundraising for that annex, and that annex is completed, and we were able to really help that particular school in that particular community of
mm-hmm.
Puerto Plata.
And what did you find out specifically with the fire department there?
During our tour in Puerto Plata, touring the cities and other institutions, when we visited the fire department, it was very exciting because we had two prominent and great people that was able to make a technical assessment of the fire department of Puerto Plata. We had with us at the time Lieutenant John Shriver, who's now chief of the fire department, mm-hmm. and Willie Jackson, Lieutenant Willie Jackson. These guys went in there, and they were like brothers, you know, mm-hmm. even though they spoke different mm-hmm. languages. And Willie and John worked with the fire chief and the other firefighters, assessing the needs of that fire department. Mm-hmm. In a nutshell, when we reviewed all the projects or all the potential opportunities for Puerto Plata, we decided that the best project to work on was the firefighters project. We were very impressed with Pedro Martinez, who's the chief of firefighters in Puerto Plata. This guy, mm-hmm. if there was a rain or storm, anything, he picks up his vehicle and he goes out and figures out if there's a lady that's trapped in the mud or what have you. This man was there. Mm-hmm. And he's loved by his firefighters as well as by the community. I had the opportunity to tour different places, and this man is very well known, well respected, and we trust him.
Mm-hmm. And Mike, you've been on a lot of fact-finding missions around the world throughout your time with Sister Cities. How is this in particular relationship a good example of a Sister City relationship? And tell us what happened logistically after you found out the needs of the fire department. Kind of took on a life of its own. Well,
we did a lot of learning. As we have with every project our different mm-hmm. sister cities have taken on. Some of these can be government assistance, some can be technical assistance in, here it was in the firefighting and mm-hmm. Rescue programs. Sometimes it's education. But we find out what's needed. How do we get resources that can help it? We're volunteer supported. So we have to find our own money or mm-hmm. institutions that can help support us. And with this one, we identified a program with the U.S. military that could fly equipment that was donated to us. Mm-hmm. We had fire departments from throughout the region donate surplus but very, very useful equipment to us that was sent down there last May. Mm-hmm. And the Puerto Plata government distributed that to 29 different fire departments throughout the region. Mm-hmm. And I understand that another round of donations, fundraising is happening after the success of this shipment, and yet there's still a need. Can you just kind of close us up with the details of the event that's coming up?
Yeah, we're trying to take advantage of the upcoming auction, but that takes a lot of coordination. Mm-hmm. Willie Jackson is really coordinating some some potential donations.
Okay.
And we're just waiting for the date for the auction. At this moment, I am in coordination with Puerto Plata, with the chief, and some other citizens that are getting together to support this effort as well. To me, it's something that I encourage the citizens of Rochester to get involved. Not only the Dominican community, but the community at large is welcome to the fundraising and to the activities that we have.
That's
so here's the
wonderful.
opportunity. On September 4th, in the atrium at City Hall,
Yes.
we'll have a fundraising event. Tickets are $40.
Okay.
You can find out on our sister cities website or through 311
Okay.
where to find the tickets. But we'll have live music, delicious food, and we'll learn more about the project.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.
CityWise will be right back.
Have you ever heard of the International Sister City program? Well, I'm talking to Mike Leach, and he'll give us some information on the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for asking me about this. I have the pleasure of being both a volunteer in our program, a member of our board of directors, and I can work part-time for the mayor's office, being a liaison to the program and other international organizations. Our Sister Cities program is a program that for 55 years has been sustained by volunteers throughout really the 5-county region. It started as an initiative of President Eisenhower to contribute to world peace, and volunteers have established relationships and maintained them over the years. We now have 12 sister city relationships that City Council has endorsed and with whom the mayor has signed agreements. Our activities can be anything from humanitarian aid, educational exchanges, music and cultural affairs, technical assistance, anything that works, that lets people, learn about different cultures, and build the understanding that, as President Eisenhower wished, will help contribute to world peace. Now we have 12 sister city relationships, and they've done many exciting things. Those kind of programs that bring benefits to both partner communities and make our lives better.
What are some of the things that the Sister City has recently done?
Well, the thing we're most recently proud of is a project we've had with our sister city in Dominican Republic, Puerto Plata. But what we've done is help with the fire department down there, providing training on modern equipment. And in May, we shipped 10 tons of surplus firefighting gear, and surplus but useful, and an ambulance to Puerto Plata that they distributed not only to their own fire department, but throughout the Puerto Plata region and to some additional cities. So everyone was benefiting from that wonderful generosity of fire departments all over our region, who cleaned out their basements of equipment that they were no longer permitted to use, but was still good.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing, incredible organization, and thank you so much for your great work. If you'd like to find out some more information on the Sister City program, go to the city's website, www.cityofrochester.gov/sistercity, or you can call 311. Chances are that if you own a vehicle and you work or live in the city of Rochester, you've probably occasionally faced a parking question. I'm talking to Laura Miller. She's the director of the city's Bureau of Parking, and she's here to talk to us about some of the questions that come through her office. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Tish. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So what are some of the questions that people have about parking?
Most people are interested in the ticketing process. They inadvertently left their car beyond the 2-hour limit, or they failed to pay the meter, or the meter expired. So they want to know what course of action they can take, either appealing the citation before a hearing examiner or paying the citation. And either one of those courses of action happen in 42 South Avenue. That's our Parking Violations Bureau address. Folks are welcome to talk to a hearing examiner to see if that ticket can be made void, or they're welcome to pay their citation with cash, check, or money order or credit card at 42 South Avenue. They're also welcome to drop payment in the mail with a check or money order. Every ticket comes with an envelope that has our address on it, or they can pay online with a credit card at cityofrochester.gov.
Why do we have these alternate parking laws?
Alternate street parking is to provide access to vehicles, city vehicles that provide essential services to our residents. Trash removal, leaf and lawn debris removal, tree trimming, snow plowing in the wintertime, and their schedules are coordinated based on what side of the street these things happen, and cars need to be out of the way so these city vehicles can get through. And it's also essential services related to emergency vehicles. If cars are parked on both sides of the streets, an emergency vehicle or a fire truck of a good size couldn't fit down the road.
What about if you have a boot on your car? How do you take care of that?
If your vehicle is booted, there's a notice on your windshield with a telephone number. When you call the telephone number, somebody will be ready to take your credit card payment. They'll provide you with a code that is used to remove the device from your vehicle, and you return the device to our office.
Okay, thank you so much, Laura. Great information. And if you'd like to find out more, visit the city's website, www.cityofrochester.gov.
It's been a busy summer in Rochester with back-to-back events, festivals, and concerts. There's never a shortage of things to do when it comes to music. We can't seem to get enough, and Rochester is redefining itself as the city of the arts, and the new Rock the Park Urban Music Festival is shaping up to be a wonderful addition to MLK Park at Manhattan Square as we enjoy these final weeks of summer. And two very talented homegrown musicians are here today, Carlton Wilcox and Jimmy Highsmith Jr. Thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you.
Carlton, we'll start with you. How did the idea, the concept behind Rock the Park start?
Well, I want to say it's just like a big family of musicians and promoters kind of came together and for years, and we've always said we wanted to do like an event like together to kind of bring the best of Rochester together. And the mayor's office contacted me and gave me opportunity to produce 3 events for the city, a neo soul night, a Motown night, and a gospel night, and it just everything just came together to kind of cap off the summer.
How is this festival different than other music festivals in Rochester?
I think for that family aspect, for my first event, we had Black August, just homegrown, all local talent from like I want to say the urban music scene, like bands like Black August, Carlton Wilcox Live band that have been playing in Rochester that haven't really taken a big stage or whatever. So it's just good to be a part of something so good. That's how we kind of came together.
And how did the first event go, the Neo Soul Night?
It went really well. It was a rainy night, and usually rain and Rochester don't mix. But people kept coming out, and we had about 1,000 people come out. So I was all thumbs up, very happy with the turnout.
Now, Jimmy, earlier we were talking, you said the word collaboration. Can you expand on that? Why is this such a wonderful collaboration?
I think in all cities with musicians, there's always that nature of a competition for the next gig, for the next show. And the one thing about this festival I like is that it's all local regional acts. So often we have big shows here, big festivals here, and a lot of the local artists don't get the opportunity to play on the big stage. This is a collaborative between all musicians in Rochester, you know, no matter what their level of musicianship is, to have a good time and create some great music.
And you're known worldwide and very busy schedule, but yet you choose to stay in Rochester. Why do you choose to stay in Rochester?
A few things. One, I have family. My kids, my wife, my lovely wife Lou. It's a great place to raise your family. And two, no matter where you go in life, you have to have a foundation. And Rochester has given me a great foundation, great support throughout the years as a musician. So how can I leave it? And this is really why I stay here. Right.
And Carlton, you've been busy. You played at the mayor's inaugural ball. You've been busy planning these events for us. And you do some other work in the community supporting emerging artists. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I've had the opportunity to play for some great artists, Jimmy Highsmith Jr. included. So along the way, I've learned a little bit, and I've seen that there's a need for artists in Rochester to kind of like come together, almost like a rites of passage. I'm kind of showing them everything I learned to just to further their career. A lot of people will want to believe that like the music scene in Rochester is going down, but there's a lot of life everywhere in Rochester, and I'm just trying to bring the life to the people that are living.
Now, what can we expect at the next Rock the Park event?
Oh, this is a tribute to Motown. We have the best of people in Rochester, artists in Rochester coming together, just giving homage to the greats, the music that shaped America. And we're looking forward to a great turnout.
Why is it important for the younger generation to appreciate Motown?
What I'm finding out, aside from the music, is the stories. So it's the music in history. So the songs are great lyrically by themselves, but once you understand how the writers came to write those songs and the stories of the musicians, it's just like it's like history to the 1000th level. It's just entertainment, and I believe it's just something positive, and I believe the youth need as much positive stuff
And
as
this
possible.
is a family-friendly event, very accessible. It's only, tickets are $5, is that correct?
Yes, tickets are $5. Children under 12 could get in free. You could bring your lawn chairs and one bottle of water. We just made it real easy for families to come together.
And you'll be performing. What can we expect from you?
I sing a little bit. I play bass a little bit. And I'm going to do both that night. I'm pretty much the quarterback for all this amazing talent. And I'll be on the sideline supporting my good friend, Jimmy Highsmith Jr.
Jimmy, what are some of the artists, Motown artists, that are going to be featured?
That's a good question. I know I'm playing Stevie Wonder's tune. And like Carlton said, the history of the music is so important for kids to know. I don't know what the other artists are singing. I don't want to lie, but I know it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a wonderful show because you have Carlton Wilcox, myself, I think Tim Mitchum, Cinnamon Jones, Fatima Razik, Paul Boutte, a lot of great singers in Rochester. And again, you'll get to hear the music and hear some of the stories. I just met Stevie Wonder for the first time this year at the NAMM Fest, and we sat there and talked about Motown. And just, I was like a little kid in the candy. It's like, okay, tell me something else. I mean, their story is they're huge. They're huge, and it's important to know this stuff.
And you've got some exciting things coming up in the next year for you. You want to tell us about that?
Sure. I mean, I've been blessed. I have endorsements. One, I endorse a saxophone line. Two, I endorse a ligature line, which is this little device here, and I have a microphone I endorse as well. And I'm doing a tour next year, end of the year, with Boney James and Ryan Kilgore and a few other sax players with the company Silverstein to raise money for kids and provide instruments throughout most of South Asia, Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, a bunch of countries I can't name right now, unfortunately.
Why do you think it's important for children to have music, to have instruments?
There was a study done at Harvard some time ago. I don't know what year it was, and it said that children with a musical pedigree will achieve higher scores academically. And that's a fact. And music is the one thing you will do that requires both your left and right side of your brain at the same time. And the discipline for learning an instrument and practicing, if you apply it to schoolwork, you know, it's you can't beat it. So I think it's very important to give kids the gift of music. For me, I wasn't an athlete, I was a nerd, and this kept me out of trouble. This kept me sane as a child. So I would want to give it to anybody I can give it to as a kid.
Now, Carlton, following the Motown event, there's one more event left in the summer. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, that's the a gospel celebration, and it's really just going to be a gospel celebration. A lot of people don't know Rochester is the home of some very good gospel artists. Some of the choirs, some of the singers sing for national groups, and it will be great. It's going to be like a gospel homecoming.
Many acts lined up for that one.
Yes.
Again, the ticket prices for that?
It's only $5.
Jimmy, you've brought your trusty saxophone.
I brought Lady T.
What are you going to play for us in a couple minutes?
I'm going to play a little bit of the tune I'm going to play at the event entitled Love's in Need of Love by Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
It's recorded on the Songs of Keep Life album, which is the Motown album, and I hope you guys dig it.
Okay. Now, if you want to learn more about the Rock the Park Urban Music Festival, you can visit cityofrochester.gov/rockthepark.
Thank you.